Whose song is this? Oh, okay.
Yeah. This feeling here is a blessing. I'ma stay true to my words and expressions, using my soul as a weapon. I'm in your head with my presence. I might just finish your sentence. This feeling fresh out the faucet. I keep the love in a locket. When I feel down, I just break it open, drink it in, and now we get it poppin'. You cannot settle me, nigga. If I blew it all, she'd have had a wedding ring, nigga. I ain't talking failures, this is everything, nigga. So I gave my everything, nigga. I'm from Fedway, we around, yeah. I don't think they hear me now, hey. Humo guegwe vaguizao, hey. Please don't make me break it down, yeah. Either you've been trembling or Harlem shaking. I'm from the wax on, wax off, flow wavy. My hands wavy. About to roll a Kevin Spacey and start spacing. Heard I got
the name of his group?
New. And I tamed it. Heard they got a drip, they
Expo.
hate on me, but I've been stainless. I don't hear you talking, no, I see you in the way. Dancing in the clouds while you caught up in the haze. And yeah, that's cocoa butter with the shade. When you asking why that shit's so smooth. Teach me oil with the olives. I've been dancing in the
We are here. Where is here, do you ask? We are here at Mimi's Twisted Pop-Up, a day full of entertainment, shopping, networking, and great food. Events by Mr. Christopher Reed, Mimi's Twisted Pop-Up, exclusive cuts, Barbershop, the Brotherhood, MANHOOD, Fatherhood Conversation Series presents The Conversation Before the Conversation. Our topic today is what you see is what you get.
What you see?
What you see?
Coach Baruti,
Is what you get.
Devin, Mr. Haircut Man, Devin Smith, Jason Music, Jeremy Just Black Davis. We'd like to invite you all to join us in our anniversary show where we're celebrating 8 years of The Conversation Before the Conversation.
Hey, it's a beautiful number.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is great.
Infinity
Infinity,
and
definitely.
beyond.
Infinite.
Okay, so we have. I can skip this first guest. So I want to apologize. We started late because we're having some technical difficulties, and as a result of those technical difficulties, let me try this again. And as a result of the technical difficulties that we're having, we are not going to be able to stream in one of our guests, our good brother Zoe Williams. I reached out to him, and we'll try to get him in for the October show. That being said, joining us, we have a Central Florida living legend, a McDonald All-American, Mr. Basketball, aka Mr. International. This man has had a song written about him by a Grammy-nominating rock group, Fish. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not here right now, but he will be coming in and joining us later at the last segment of the show, Mr. Darius Washington Jr.
Darius D. Washington.
Also joining us, we have the host of On the Bench with Bubba and Pink, Bubba Brown and Brian Pink. Cop by day, comedian by night, cop median, Brody Love will be joining us. And sitting with us right now, we have internet sensation, definitely D-Live.
Right. Thank you.
Garage workout.
Say it with your chest. Athlete.
I mean, what's it take to be an internet sensation? That's what I want to know.
You know what?
A million views.
What'd you say?
A million views.
Something like that.
That's TikTok. You can do that with
You
your
over a
cat.
million views?
I get that.
All right, I know
You
that's
can do it
right.
with that.
Thank you, Jason.
Then you can get a million views with your cat.
She has went platinum.
You're so
on
annoying.
TikTok. You can do a million with like a
Oh, you got
side
a
boob.
cat in the, what, you got a,
He's trying to troll
oh,
right
you
now.
got a cat in the
Yes.
garage? I never, okay.
Oh, you with him?
It's a cat in the garage.
That was hilarious. That was funny.
Garage fitness though, you can trademark that. You get, I just want a little piece of that. You know
I
what I'm saying?
might, because I feel like it
Gym
could
fitness.
be a thing.
Garage gym fitness.
Garage gym fitness. Because you be saying you going to the gym, but you be going to your garage.
I do both.
So
Depends on my mood.
I seen it. Remember, I used to be going to the gym at 5 a.m. She used to be in there.
Who was there?
She was in there.
Okay, then.
How
thank
many
you.
times, Jay?
She used to
A
be
couple
in there in the
times.
morning. Yeah,
Thank you.
she used to be in there in
Thank
the morning.
you. And I was with the athletes.
She would be there before me.
Jay is Mr. Compassionate. He's a liar also because he probably saw you one
Me,
time.
I was getting there around 5:20, and she would already be in there on the.
See, that's
on
what
that-
I'm saying.
on the, getting
Like,
her cardio
I don't.
in.
Thank you. Just
That's
facts. I don't need you to lie to me. Just facts.
Keep it up. Yeah, that's amazing though. For real.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got you.
Singer, songwriter, and the composer of the Juneteenth anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, who will be joining us in a little bit is none other than Jabari Clay.
Happy birthday to Jabari, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. He just had one.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. And,
birthday.
and he gave him a Thursday a live vibe.
Oh, yeah.
But he wear them things out every time he do them.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah. And then immediately following the conversation today, ladies and gentlemen, performing at the Woodwall Show, we have One Dog, Reggie Ford, Jay Fishman, and Bay Bubs. So be sure to tune in.
Yeah.
And the man who will be providing the sound, the vibe, DJ Dakota 3.
There you go.
So guess what, fellas?
AKA Dubai Shouting. Chico Clemente.
It's our birthday. So
See
you
the
know what
blood
I did
slide
was
in the sand.
I actually sent some words out to some folks and had them bring some questions to us, right? So,
It's always good.
man, okay, internet sensation.
Yes.
Could you just call her D-Live?
She said it one more time, he's gonna blow it. He's gonna really steam.
If they say not too much now, not too much.
Okay.
Keep
So-
the helium down.
When you were last on with us, and we kind of dove into the unconditional love piece,
Yes. I
and
remember.
you were very clear that your love comes with conditions.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's good.
So as a result, one of the questions we got for you:
Okay.
if you love him as much as you think you do, and Jeremy likes to point out that you need to come heal. If you love him as much as you say you do,
Yes.
and you are damaged goods, if you know this about yourself, why would you want to subject him?
Hold on.
The man-
Somebody called me damaged.
Yeah, did I write this?
No.
I was following. I was like, hold on. Where's this going?
No.
Okay,
They
carry on.
want
It's
to speak- they want to speak on the
Got
question.
it.
Say,
Okay.
Dion, if you ain't sitting, how you expect him?
I was like, who wrote this? I need a name.
Okay. Why would you subject him, the man you love, the man of your dreams? Why would you want him to join you to deal with that? Why would you do that to someone, anyone, everyone that you say you love? If you love them, why?
Why would I have conditions?
No. Why would you?
Put him
Let's
through
say
like the
let's
toxicity
let's
that you
pretend
would
like
have
let's
going
pretend
on
like you were someone
while
who
you
was
live.
damaged goods.
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
We're going to pretend like you're
Okay,
someone
now I
who's
got
damaged
it.
goods.
I'm sorry, I couldn't relate. Got it.
Okay.
I'm in it now. I'm in it.
Okay. So if you were someone
Got it. I'm with
who
you.
fit into that category,
Okay.
why would you want someone that you care about to join you in your mess?
Because I probably lack some awareness and I don't see myself as damaged goods. So I probably see myself in a position where, he has to meet me, at a certain spot.
Sounds good.
That's a
So
bar.
a follow-up question to the fellows from that is,
Yeah.
and this is speaking from my experience. I have never had a quote-unquote serious relationship with a woman. And she didn't tell me at the beginning that she was crazy. Have you had a similar experience? Where right off the bat, they said, hey, this is who it is? Yes, you told me that too. I just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
She got to be a little crazy.
But what I'm asking you is, did she let you know from jump? Hey, I got some stuff going on.
I mean, it's like, what it say, what's understood don't have to be explained all the time.
You saying women are crazy, Jason?
That's not what he said. I didn't catch that one.
I did.
She
Okay.
gotta have a little crazy in her, you know what I'm saying, to keep the fire lit, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
not too much, but
Yeah.
I don't know who doesn't.
Crazy
we
about
live,
you,
we're
but
born
crazy,
in the
not
Western
crazy on you.
Hemisphere. Who doesn't bring issues to a relationship.
But did she make you aware of it? Like, hey, I got a lot going on.
I think some women will say it verbally, but everybody's gonna show you.
Yeah, eventually.
Like you can't. I don't know if it's eventually. Like people show it in their jokes, they show it in their actions.
Yeah.
You know, their words are what are strategically placed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like you gotta be you.
I'm paying attention. So,
Yeah. So
you
like
know,
if you like got little jokes and you saying look like nah these jokes are real. It's you. You're telling me.
You
know?
got me, because I'm always joking like you got me. I feel like sometimes we will tell, but personally, if I'm not in a place where I want you to know, I'm not showing that.
I mean, but when a woman says that, the way Barudi's mentioning it, they not like 100% saying seriously that it's something wrong. They actually saying it in a way like in an excusatory way to say like,
I might get crazy.
hey, I'm crazy, and then
I
we
might
move
check your
on.
phone.
Like, but it's like, no, let's stop here. Yeah. Let's dissect what you just said.
I might pull up.
Yeah, like they make those little jokes and it's
I mean it.
and it's cool. It's cool.
And these are the revealing things. Those are revealing of who you are. You know.
actually
No,
have-
it's something
No,
wrong all the
there's
time.
always something
No,
wrong.
no, we're saying that there's something wrong all the time.
Yeah, well, let me say this.
But they may say,
Can we agree that everybody has trauma?
Yes,
Can
yes,
we
she's right.
agree
Yeah.
every
Right,
single
right.
human has trauma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so nobody shows up without any problems.
Right.
Well, I have a friend. There's someone they were in a relationship for years with. They were deep into the relationship before it was revealed to them that this person had been clinically diagnosed bipolar and manic depressive or whatever.
Yeah.
So they felt some type of way because it's
Yeah.
like we locked in. We're in love. Like we're staying together, and now like one day you kind of like fly off the rails.
Right.
And I'm like wondering what happened, and then like now you're letting me know that this was already the situation. Like
Right.
you didn't let me know that going into this.
Yeah.
So
You've been like
That you-
clinically
my friend
diagnosed.
felt like would it be a different way? Would my life look a different way if I was made aware of that from the beginning? If I was given the option to make that choice myself,
I definitely feel you should give somebody that option. You don't have to tell the first guy you meet like, hey, yeah. You don't have to do that. But I feel like if it's somebody that you're really trying to get to know, there's no way you can kind of like skip over like that mental stuff.
But why,
'Cause
why not tell everybody?
Yeah.
you don't have, it's your personal business though.
But okay.
No.
HIPAA law.
No.
You don't owe everybody to tell them what you're diagnosed
No, but
on.
yeah,
that
if
you're
Right,
dealing
no,
with.
but
if we-
Yes, not
Right,
everybody.
that's a problem. Though.
if we are on that, but
We go on a date. I should know.
First date, I'm not saying, hey,
I had
I
clapped
have
4 years
manic,
ago.
manic depressive.
People don't do that.
Pass me the
Hey,
shirt.
I'm a registered sex offender. Did you come here often?
You're still feeling out if you even want to go there. That person, so why dump all that? I feel like there's stages. Not saying like months on, like, hey, by the way, but you don't
But
do the
let
first
me be
date.
compassionate because Jason said I'm not compassionate, and that hurt my feelings. so I'm gonna say like you don't necessarily have to tell somebody, because maybe when that person you referring to, they didn't realize that was an issue or underlying problem anymore because they've been doing so well, they've been working on it, then they flashed out and they be like, oh yeah, by the way, sometimes you've been working on a trauma or a problem or some baggage so long that you feel like you got it under control, you feel like you don't have to mention it. Unless you like killed somebody before, you can say, well, I was diagnosed with bipolar manic depression, but I've had it under control until you came home late that day, and then everything boiled over. Now I remember. Now I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Was that compassionate?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't. Because why'd you even throw the C word in it? Like,
Nah,
I was with you till you got
but people are
That word
crazy.
is banned, man.
No, people are crazy.
Okay, I feel
Mentally
in general, yes, people are
unstable.
crazy.
People are mentally
but I wouldn't say
unstable.
crazy on like a diagnosis. But yeah, people
Can't
are
you
crazy.
say that
A
anymore?
diagnosis is proof that you're crazy, and that's okay.
It's true. First of all, I'm not against crazy. I just feel like there could be some people who are sensitive towards that because they're in a different place. They haven't accepted a lot of stuff.
We in the barbershop. You being sensitive about being crazy, we're not gonna heal from that.
I think you're crazy.
Yeah. We
almost
all
gonna harmonize.
we all got something. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We be trying to hide our ugly like everybody ain't ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're, and that's kind of
I'm not ugly.
that's kind of the thing, right? So if you we're all good, we're all bad, and we're all ugly. So why?
Some are uglier than others. Will you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But why
Dion?
go? Why go into a
something
relationship
was
with?
coming.
Why go into a relationship with someone that you're saying that I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and not
Show them who you
show
are.
them?
Some people haven't even
What they're
addressed
getting.
themselves.
Nah,
though,
that's
like-
real. That's real.
No, it's true. It's true. But I'm saying some people haven't even like addressed really what they have going on. They're in denial, or they just in a hamster wheel, and they haven't even sat to really do the work. It's like, okay, I have this problem. This, I feel like that could be it. Also,
What
I
about?
want my man. I don't want you running away. So
But that's also like that's a part of the initial conversation where you say the woman told you she was crazy from the beginning, and it's always in the form of a joke, or it's meant to be like a lighthearted thing. Hey, by the way, I would pop up, but that you popping up, you feeling like you have to pop up, or that's like a prerequisite for you dating somebody. That comes from an underlying thing. So sometimes you might know that, hey, I may have this. People know what triggered them. They know how they gonna react when they trigger, but they don't understand where that trigger come from.
I feel like now we're like this just a condition that we're in right now as a society. It's kind of like we are already expecting that we have things going on, especially like now we in this age of Aquarius where everything is coming out, so people
Yeah.
are actually being able to be like, oh, I experienced this and I realized that I do this because of that. Like that's becoming like common conversation now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to that, you know. So it's just assumed, oh, you're born in the US? Oh yeah, me too. Okay, we got stuff going on. Let's figure it out together. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
but also some people not even trying to figure it out. Some
that's
people just
true.
want to be like.
that's where you gotta vet. That's where vetting.
Some people just want to be like, this is
I'm
my
who I
trigger.
am.
This is why I was triggered, and you need to deal with it.
This is who I am.
Like people feel like you're supposed to walk around their triggers because they can tell you about them.
Oh yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's super wild. That's super wild. That's super wild.
true.
I mean, these days, all right, you better ask some of these people in positions of power. You say the wrong thing, you lose. Better ask John Moran about walking on eggshells.
Nah, he was walking with a pistol. It was different.
25 games.
Over and over.
It wasn't real, bro.
It doesn't matter.
It was a lighter.
If it-
Like,
if
that's
it-
what
Eggshell.
if he walk in the bank with that lighter, he's going to jail.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
if you make
Yeah,
it,
for
that's
sure.
true.
That's another thing. We be making an argument about something that's not the argument. So okay, the gun's not real, but you shouldn't have anything that looks like a gun. And you work for $1 billion corporation, a $250 billion corporation that's global. We would like for you not to appear to have a gun.
Yeah, morality clause.
Yeah, just think about it.
Yeah.
And best believe, man, others in his position, they have guns.
Yeah.
They're just moving smart. You know, this is for protection, not to show your homeboys
Right.
be dancing. Like you
Gilbert
got,
Arenas getting suspended?
yeah.
Yeah,
like-
but he got suspended like on a morality clause because it's not.
Yeah.
We live in Florida. I can speak for myself. We all got guns.
yeah, definitely. That's
So-
what they do here.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
South, baby.
yeah. So it's not about the gun, especially
No.
especially if they even if it is about the gun. After let's say we work somewhere, your boss say, hey, you probably didn't know this, but we don't be letting you carry guns out here. The second time you can't be like, hey, but it's not real. Your boss already told you,
yeah,
no.
yeah, already
Why
said
even
it,
play?
man.
Why even play?
Right, exactly. It's about the maturity.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what people be making an argument about something that it's not. If your boss told you you make $28 an hour, hey, don't do that. You're not gonna do that. So why would somebody who making $60 million a year, they boss say, hey, just chill out?
Because he's making $60 million.
Yeah. So now you like, oh, it's because he's black, or no? What if a white
No,
guy? I see this, and they start putting up pictures as false equivalencies. A guy hunting. Look at this guy. He got all these rifles. Yeah, he's hunting.
He didn't
So
sign
should-
all those
So
agreements
should you tell a
either.
girl he date, hey, I like to wave guns in public situations?
I kind of think
I
she'll
think
know.
she already know.
She'll know. Like,
Yeah.
this
She
is
probably
what
like,
you do.
ooh, you do?
That's actually what she actually banking on that because then she can get a little
Yeah,
settlement.
he pulled a fire with the
Yeah.
girl in the car.
You got your
Man,
pistol.
crazy.
Nah, but vetting, I think now, man, people with, I mean, so a lot of people don't even know what vetting means, but and there's vetting, there's discernment, there's questions I like to ask, and then getting to know somebody and going on dates, and I want to know like what books have you read, you know, about like self-healing and self-awareness. Like, I want you to see, I'm gonna be doing it slick. Like, can you suggest, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring it up, and we'll see if you can suggest me some books. If you never read a book about self-awareness or self-healing, I'm gonna make a check mark in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Is that the only way you can?
Nah, I mean, because
but
No,
there's-
he's just going through the things he likes to
I'm,
do.
I'm,
He
go-
likes,
I'm
okay,
going
but
through
yeah,
the
okay.
channels to see if you are actually working on those things that we both already know that you have and I have. Because we grew up here.
Right,
And-
because it's a simplistic thing. Like, that's what we come here and do this for 8 years, and the simplistic undertone is self-awareness, do the work on yourself, and then you'll mirror that effect.
Right.
So it ain't, people somehow take everything else we say and be like, oh, you guys hate women or this or that or that.
Yeah,
When
they
it's
take such a
when it's
small
really
portion.
like saying like, no, I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Whatever problem I'm seeing, and I'm saying like, yo, it's uncomfortable to me. I'm the problem. Why am I attracting this? Why do I find this attractive?
Yeah.
You looked up podcasting when you wanted to start a podcast, right?
Yeah, I did.
You looked up working out when you wanted to start working out, right?
I saved some reels.
Did you look up did you look at hair stuff when you wanted to like style your hair and things like
Yes.
that? All right then. So
But I didn't read. I haven't read any books on it.
All right. So how deep do you care about
But
it?
you read some material on it.
You studied deep into these things that you really cared about, but you haven't studied deep into your own like.
I
mental.
feel like you can add if you're talking to talking to yourself, you can actually address things. I feel like, yes, you can read stuff. I like self-help books. I read a few, but as far as like really saying I'm gonna read this because I want to get to know more. No, I really asked myself ugly questions. I really asked, why am I doing this? Okay, what happened then? The decisions I'm making, why am I making? Do I really want to change, or I just kind of sometimes I don't like when I move this way?
Yeah,
So
and
it was-
that's good, but actually literature can help you to really get to the root and dissect and be able to see those questions and your answers to those questions from different angles and even get deeper into
I agree.
Yeah, but
I just
that's-
don't think
but
it's the
that-
only route.
Right,
That's
that,
like,
I mean, because
I agree.
I'm not saying it's the only route, but I just made a point of with these other things that you really cared about, you went and you studied them.
Right.
So when I cared about, obviously,
But you
figuring
said I can
myself
ask myself
out.
my questions and heal myself.
No, I
but
didn't. Never said that.
because this basically what she's saying is, because I'm the same way in that regard. I don't read as much as I would like to read, but a lot of times when you read I believe that a lot of the answers are within you anyway. So a lot of times you read stuff, you be like, oh, I felt like that innately, but I probably didn't know how to articulate it. I probably didn't know how to say it, or I probably didn't verbalize it that way. But that's how I feel about that. So at the same, because like me, if I'm vetting somebody, it's more in the conversation. So you may present an idea to me in a very country, like primitive way or funny way, but it's like deep and profound. So and that tells me a lot more than what books you read, because you can read a lot of books and be full of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
You be profound, be full of shit.
of course.
Yeah.
Most people who are profound are full of shit because
That's so aware.
yeah, that's so aware. I know
Yeah,
I'm full of
sometimes you're
shit.
so aware you can like move around the
Right.
room and
Yeah.
kind of dance
You can
around
move around
things.
your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Like if you have enough emotional intelligence, you can justify
Yeah.
what you got going
and,
on.
and you can always,
Yeah.
if depending on how aware you are, you can always justify what you've done. That's why even though I joke with Dion, even me, I call Dion, we talking on the phone. She'll say like, yeah, I was playing mental gymnastics. I know I was on some bullshit.
Oh, yeah, I know
Or
I
the
was doing it.
so it's not about like, or how many books you read, because some people just don't like reading books, but they very intelligent. Some people read books but are dumb as hell.
But all right. Well, that's just I got steps that I like to do, and I mean I like people that read.
And that's
No,
all.
I think
Because
Yeah.
you can ask somebody about a book that they've read and they haven't read any book, but their retort could be, but I do it this way.
Yeah.
And then, but that way he can still, if he's vetting somebody, he can still get what he needs to get
Yeah.
out of it. Now, if they say, so if they don't do nothing, you'll get that too,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, because through conversation, it's gonna be more than it's always more than about reading books, because actually, I can suggest a book to somebody and then see if they actually go read it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they might say, "Oh, can you suggest me a book?" And then I'll suggest it to them, and then they check back with me and let me know they read it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, I'm not judging that a person got to be healed or this and that, but I am looking to see like if you
you're
really want
working.
it and if you are pursuing and actively being proactive about balancing yourself out.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
not all about
willingness.
reading books, but I
It's
know
about
one thing. What I could just be. I've been reading since I was 4 years old. I've been reading newspapers, so that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own thing.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. To me, it doesn't matter as much, because it's people who will tell you about the Bible and they've read the Bible backwards and forwards, and I'd be like, well, You realize you ain't supposed to read that by scripture. Like you ain't supposed to read that by line and say, yo, this is what he means. It's supposed to be consumed at the same. It's supposed to be consumed together, like a story or a parable. It's not supposed to be like you took a parable and you took a line from the parable and say this parable means this.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more nuanced than just you can read. Do you understand? Do you comprehend?
Oh yeah, for sure. But you're gonna be able to see that though, like, when you're around somebody that's well read, you'll be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? You'll just be able to tell. So I mean, that's just
sometimes
that's just one of my things. I know a lot of things I learned from a lot of the self-understanding that I have. It comes from living life and experience and gaining wisdom that way, but reading books is really good for helping you to understand yourself and understand the world around you. Like, there are people out here that have dedicated their entire lives to like one field of expertise, and they write books that you can buy for less than $20. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
you can get. So what you're saying is you can get 25 years worth of somebody else's experience for $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I buy books from,
And this
I
definitely
read
can
books
help.
from people that went to prison for 10 years and they wrote a book about how they end up becoming a criminal. And you know what I'm saying? It's not just all about this super woke, this and that. It's just about gaining perspectives and having different areas to reach and pick from. You know what I'm saying? And it just gives you more of what you already have. Like, it's like sitting at a round table with people about an idea that you have.
Right.
When you leave that idea, it's going to be even better.
Right. But I think the point of it all
But I
is
agree with what y'all saying.
because
But
the point of it all is
I wanna see if you
and what's
agree.
most important is for you, because some people don't consume information and then understand it and apply it the same
This
way
is
you
true.
will.
It's
So
very
like
true.
I like a woman who reads, but I also like a woman who is self-aware and it can apply her own self-awareness. I've dated women who are super well-read, smart, lawyers or business educated, and they were simplistic in their thought process. Like lawyers,
Like black and white.
Decision-making skills.
and like very, very brilliant people on a grand
We got a
scale.
lawyer in here right now.
Yeah. That's a good example. Like this guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking
But
of.
no, but it's always the point I think D-Law was making is your vetting process is your process.
Yeah.
But there's no science to it.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's a way to find out someone's willingness, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like if you
It's
show
more
me
about
what
that
you're
than me.
willing
Yeah, it's more
to
about
do,
that. That is more
you
about
know where
what's
you
about.
at.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's going to show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
that's willingness. So when I was dating, and a question that I would ask is, what's more important to you, the truth or Jesus?
Jesus is the truth. What you mean?
And that's what I would get, right? And I would say, but what if that's not true?
Then you the devil.
No.
So
If it's not true, then okay. But if it is true, I go to heaven and you go to hell.
so now.
That's what my boy told me. He said, if I'm wrong, okay. But if you're wrong,
So when I asked my wife, when I asked her that question, she said the same thing. But Jesus is the truth, and I said, okay, but what if that's not the case? What if that's not true? What is more important to you, Jesus or the truth? And she said the truth. Everybody else that I ever had any interaction with said Jesus. So I didn't fight them. I just asked the question, and when they answered, I was like, okay. And what that showed me was willingness. That there's some flexibility there.
Yeah.
And she's not so rigid and rock hard that when I actually speak, I'm probably going to be heard, right?
Yeah.
That we'll be able to have conversation that go back and forth, where we're not locked into ideas and concepts that will actually prevent us from being able to reach one another.
And that's kind of my thing. Like when you talk about like what books you've read, like I mean, 2,000 years ago, what was written in those books is different than now.
man, you just don't like to read.
That too. Are you not going to date me now, Jason? Because I won't read.
Am I out the
I
running?
mean,
Yeah.
you one of the
Probably
most
not.
intelligent people I know, so
Yeah,
but you
think-
read stuff.
I can't. I prefer to write it, but that's the Leo in me. That's like so. I don't doubt anybody for reading, but it's like that old saying, like 2,000 years ago, everybody knew the world was flat. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That was deep, man. What movie was that? Anyway,
2023, they
saving
said
that
it's
one.
flat again.
right. So it's like I'm cautionary about everything that I intake, whether it be not food. 'Cause
Well, it
I
has
be
to
eating.
resonate. You know, when you read, I
Now they're
don't
saying
read
it's a
to just
dome and
say
all this.
like, all right, I read that. That's facts. You know, I read to.
That's my thing.
What
But
resonates helps
because
me gain a better understanding of myself.
that's the thing. Like you can observe text. So like you giving somebody a book to read and they read it, that don't mean that they gonna intake the same way you intake.
yeah, this is facts.
So it just means that and when you like vetting is different than like giving people tasks, because when somebody really into you, it's like negotiating with a hostage. They gonna do whatever you want them to do. So if you be like, hey, do you read? You're like, yeah, I read. I seen your Facebook post. Claude Anderson, man, he's great. But
That's
see,
how they flirt with me. They
Send
be
me the
like,
link.
can you
Send me the
suggest
link
some
on
books?
Amazon.
They be like, can you suggest a book to me? I'm like,
no,
oh,
but
she
when I
flirting.
used to,
Oh, I know what time it is. I got a book.
hey, but that's
I'm
more.
checking see if you
You
read
ain't gotta do all
though.
that, baby. You ain't gotta do all that.
That's
what she ain't betting on that.
hey, that's more of a bet for me, because like it was a point in time where women I meet would like be like, hey, what book you read? I'm like, well, I don't really read. I can read per se, but I don't be out here just reading books and tell you how much I know about the books. But I'll probably read it once and I'll retain the essence of it, and then I can regurgitate what it's talking about. I ain't gonna be able to give you sources like, hey, like when I talk about the Bible, people be like, what scripture? I'm like, I can't tell you the scripture, but is it right what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because your vetting process is really just in your head anyway, because the real vet is your observation of a person. Some stuff you find out later, or you like, oh, I never would have known. If you was like not just nose wide open, you probably would have known.
I thought I saw it and just decided.
Because none of us are really good hiders unless you're like a sociopath. Mm. But if you get down the line, you be like, damn, I never knew you were so possessive. And it was like, didn't she put your number in? Oh, did she put her number in your phone? Did she drop your location? You dropped your location with hers. You thought it was cute because y'all just met. That's pretty possessive, wouldn't you say? But because you
overlook it.
Yeah, you
Because
overlook
the
it.
excitement of something new, you know.
That's what's like. No, she's been crazy. You like, can you believe she was like a schizophrenic all this whole time? Like, I knew Bianca.
Yeah.
She's been that way.
And you know, and a lot of times it's ignorance, because people, they don't know really what's happening until they retain some type of information or intelligence as to what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which
saying
doesn't
they
have to
don't-
be a
you-
book. It can
no,
be a.
You're saying they don't have the language.
Yeah, you gotta be
don't
aware
even
of
know
it
what's
or
going-
know about
you
it
don't
to
know
even
what's
notice
going
it.
on. This could be your norm because of the way you grew up.
So it's like talking to somebody and they're trying to tell you how they feel, but they can't put the words together to tell you how they feel.
Now-
No, this is how they feel, and you just have to respect their feelings.
We got so many gurus now on the internet.
That's so hard.
I'm using quotations. You know what I'm saying? We got so many
impossible.
gurus on, because now they're actually retaining some type of information because they can just scroll and get it.
And that's good. That's good and
Take
bad.
what they want from it.
But that's the same with a book too.
But it's reading. People read
Yeah.
every day because they scrolling their phones every day, reading every meme, reading every Shade Room caption, reading every Drake song. You know what I'm saying? So people are reading. People are learning through processing words from someone else every single day.
But it sounds
You
like
know,
what-
but they're
sounds
not
like-
doing it intentionally. They're
Right.
it's being pumped
growth.
into them instead of them going and seeking it. It's actually they're being drawn
Shout out
to it
to all the
by
small people.
something that may not be in their best interest. But
Don't want no show.
so it's like a lot of things I learned, because you know you have feelings and intuition is discernments, you know, but certain things you read and come across and you're like, oh, like, wow, that's exactly what's happening. Like you say, you can articulate it like Jeremy said, but so people are reading every day. I ain't saying go out. No, I am saying go out and read, because
equip
read.
yourself with some tools.
Yeah.
You can be aware of
read
what's
a book
happening.
on how to fix something.
Yeah.
You don't gotta read a book on from Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Because
you gonna read Facebook all day?
Well, I mean, because I joke about reading
Book.
That is what it is. It's your favorite book.
People reading all day. Facebook.
Facebook.
It's in a book.
I mean, I joke
Aren't
about
you happy?
I joke about reading, but it's also like my biggest pet peeve about people who be like, let's read. You have to read like the adverse of what you're reading. So if it's like the Bible, you have to read people who wrote anti-Bible.
For sure.
So then you can really get like people read the Bible don't have any context about the time it was written, how it was constructed. That's weird to me for you to be like so gung ho about a book without knowing how it's constructed, why it's constructed, the politics, the history around it. And if you haven't done that, then I don't care what you read, because if you go to school, you have to cite your sources. You have to have 3 different sources.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I believe.
Man.
But
Well, what does that mean?
That comes from not processing other information
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's my thing. Like I joke about reading, but I read not as much as I should. But if I'm reading like Claude Anderson, I'm going to read somebody who is opposed to everything that Claude Anderson wrote. So that way I know what I'm reading and taking in from an emotional standpoint with him. Or I just like this because it sounds good. It makes me feel good as a black person. It's pro-black, but it's like, okay, is all this factual?
You know, when I hear the word believe, what I'm also hearing is someone say to me that they don't know.
For sure.
So now, and then when I say that to them, now the conversation begins to change right away, because, well, I believe this. Oh, okay, so what you're saying to me is you really don't know. That's why you have to believe it, because you can't prove what you say is true.
Yeah.
Right? So now the conversation gets to be different. And I like that, because now the conversation, because it's different, it's grounded differently, the foundation is different. So now the back and forth can actually, in my way of looking at it, the conversation can move forward a little better.
It can start.
It can move forward a little better. Because I had a gentleman years ago when I was in the Air Force who told me that, wow, his name just came to me. Eleazar Hernandez. Sergeant whatever I just said. Yeah, Eleazar Hernandez. Said to me that the Mormon church could never be corrupted. And to me that was amazing. I was like, wait a minute, how it got people in it? And he's like, yeah. And so you're saying that there's something that has people in it that can never be corrupted. And he said, yeah. I said, what makes you say that? He said, I had a dream and I had a vision. And that's what my vision told me.
All right.
We can't talk.
Did you dismiss him as moron?
Hey,
That's
if you remove an M from Mormon,
That's what he meant to say. Moron.
Like Steph Curry on us.
Yeah.
So I just what I realized was we couldn't have a conversation, because I can't argue with his vision.
it's over
Yeah.
with.
Right? That I can't do that. So we're about to transition into the next segment, but before we go, this is something else we want to tap into. Internet sensation, definitely Adila.
Million
You like,
views.
you like that, Brian? Pink.
Million viewed.
Hey, Pink, man, don't be.
We can stop that part.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I was like, what? Who?
She got a million views.
I'm joking.
It's on TikTok, guys.
How many?
It's on TikTok.
No,
It's still
not
a
just
million.
there.
Yes, where you got a million views at, Dion?
On my Instagram as well. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just say facts.
I'm just.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, it is a big deal. Don't let nobody take your shine.
No, listen. Let me tell you
That's
something.
a million.
Let me tell you something about friendship, Jason. You never let your friends get too high.
Oh, you definitely believe that. My gosh. He lives by that.
That's a million.
He's alone on that one.
Hey, sometimes I call Dion when she's too happy, and I let her know
He really does.
you're not as great as you think you are. And then I hang up. Yeah, I hang up.
On the phone.
Yeah.
But let me be sad on my own. Oh no. I'm like, isn't this what you want?
No, but you're not gonna be sad on your own. I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say, tighten up.
You ain't gonna be shit.
Yeah.
I ain't shit.
Yeah. One day I'll release my voicemails.
have fun on the road.
You know what's funny? You think I'm joking?
One day I'll release my voicemail. I'll do a video on that.
We know you.
Tough love.
Okay. So, and this is kind of captured, and now this is from a few people, and I kind of put it together. And this is also something that I thought is special for me because of, but I'll get to it. So, and this little area is called "Where did you get that feeling?" Okay, I feel confident that you'll agree with me that there's a difference there's a difference in the meaning of the words think, feel, and know. In her book, Cleaning Up Your Mess, 5 Simple Scientifically Proven Steps to Reduce Stress, Anxiety, and Toxic Thinking, Dr. Caroline Leaf says that the way the brain processes is think, feel, choose, think, feel, choose, think, feel, choose, think, feel, choose. In the last conversation we had, we were talking about feelings. And I think the question I asked was, when does your feelings become more important than when does how you feel become more important than what I think? Right? Right. So we had a little back and forth about thinking and feelings. And based upon my own personal research, when I make the presentation to women that the process is think, feel, choose, think, feel, choose, think, feel, choose, I normally get some pushback because they say their feelings come first. So I kind of frame this and say, where did you get the feeling? Because as I was looking at it based upon what think, feel, choose, and what the book says, in order for me to have a feeling about something, I have to first have a thought about it.
Yeah.
Right? And then, based upon what I think, I develop the feeling, and then I make the choice about how I'm going to move. So, but maybe I'm not right. And I'm looking at it, trying to figure out, because as like we say with the interaction we had with y'all, one of the things that she pointed out, specifically to Jason, after the show was, your brain can die, and your body can still be alive. And it can, but your heart dies, your brain gone.
Everything gone. Yeah.
Right?
Come on, zombies.
Damn, my heart just
So because I've looked at the science a little bit. So even if someone touches your skin, right, that's a feeling, and it doesn't necessarily, I won't say it requires a thought, but it actually does, because I have a idea of what a touch is going to feel like, and then when I get touched, I'm using what I think to interpret or calculate in my mind or my spirit, whatever it is, what that feeling is. So you can look at something and you can say that feels rough. Without touching it, you can say, I think that feels rough, and then when you go and you touch it, it's rough. You say, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
All of that's based upon information that you have.
Yeah. Okay, so but with this though, don't you you gather or you start to think on things based on your observation, and then feeling is part of our observation. Right? So like you have to see and touch and feel and all of these things to gather the information to start the thought, don't you?
Yeah.
So it could be argumentative that, like maybe you do need to feel, like depending on the situation maybe, first to have the information to form a thought. It's kind of like seeing something. Like you did see it before you thought about it, but you saw it, it generated the thought.
But see, one of the things that came to me when I was contemplating this is, I've had the pleasure of traveling around the world. And so now, if I'm downtown Orlando, I know when I went into the bad part of town, right?
Yeah.
But the first time I was in Seoul, Korea.
What's the bad part of town? Where the black people at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when But when I went
Wrong
to Seoul,
side of the red line.
but when I went to Seoul, Korea, or when I was Korea, South Korea, Philippines, Everybody look alike.
Whoa.
Whoa, you're not allowed to
Where are we going
wait a
with
minute. Hey,
Everybody look alike.
we all are individual people. None of us,
Like a punch in the stomach.
none of us all look alike Asian
Views
Americans.
of Mr. Baruti.
But hear what I'm saying. I'm the outsider.
Right.
I don't know what everybody else knows. So you can be standing next. You could be standing with. You don't know. I didn't know how to say it. I would go into a part of town not knowing where I was, and everybody looked alike to me, and I could feel like I was in the bad part of town without knowing that I was in the bad part of town. And then when I would have some conversations with some folks, they would say, "Yeah, dog, you was in the bad part of town."
He's with the black
I
Asians.
thought so.
Yeah, he was with the black Asians.
The dark one.
I don't know what, I recognize the black Asians when I see them because they don't look like everybody else.
I mean, it's like so. Well, it's like right. I could touch your shoulder or something to get your attention, and depending on what you've been through, you know, you could just turn and say, "Oh, what's good, dog?" Or you could be like, "Hey, don't touch me."
Right.
So is that feel then think then choose? What is that? Or is that just feel choose? What is that?
I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
Y'all got me on a pause.
I work with I had a manager
Yeah.
like that. If you came up behind him, he said he'll be like, "Hey, bro, I know you didn't know, but like, please, never touch me."
Yeah.
Like, and you can look in his eyes.
Yeah,
like,
I
whatever
mean, but
happened in
you
this
black.
man's
You can't be
life-
touching that man.
No, he was a Spanish dude from New York, but it was like you could look in his eyes. Whatever happened to him,
Yeah, he don't.
man, don't ever touch him,
Don't
bro.
touch him.
Just get his attention.
Now, I also think one of the things I got from those interactions was there seemed to be the feeling that I was getting in those conversations, in those interactions was that because the process was think, feel, choose, and we say, and I think the narrative is that women feel they're more emotional than we are.
That's what
Right.
Rudy said.
Right.
Rudy said
I
that.
said that's what the narrative say.
Okay.
The narrative say that women are.
Yes.
They are.
That
Narrative
ain't
and
me.
narrator.
That ain't me, man.
Right.
What up, bro?
So I think it just sounded insulting that Phil was second to the women.
Pink.
Because you all have a reputation for being emotional and irresponsible.
Now I'm the spokesperson.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's
You
me.
are. You are.
Looked at me.
Yeah, it is you though. But continue.
You guys are sensitive to it, and so you're going to feel attacked. That's
All right,
okay,
Mr.
so-
Compassionate. I'm Mr. Compassionate.
Oh,
Obviously.
since when?
Obviously, I'm Mr. Compassionate.
Okay, I'll follow
Were
up
you-
after you. I'm sure I'll
Were you
remember.
here when we started? So shut up. But anyway, Mr. Compassionate. I think
How you feel?
or feel
Like stumbling on toes.
Okay, I'll go after Jimmy. Carry on. Go ahead.
or no, but
Cue up.
I think because you have to write it in a book, which is stupid. It has to be in order. I don't think it necessarily works in order. I think it works like all together for a greater good. So I think when you have to write it out and you say whatever words come first, you start to feel away because you're not thinking. Because that's what women. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not triggering me.
No,
No,
but
see, but okay, so if I'm having a conversation with my wife and me and my wife are arguing, and I know I didn't. I'm giving an example.
that's what you think.
But what you feel?
Let's say we're arguing, and she has some very strong feelings in the moment. And she has these very strong feelings about what she thinks happened or didn't happen, et cetera, et cetera. And she's wrong.
Oh man.
If she's wrong,
Women aren't wrong, bro.
if she's wrong, she can have some very strong feelings. She can be very passionate about whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? And if I'm simply trying to point out you just got some bad information, it can come across as though, oh, you're being dismissive about my feelings.
Yeah.
You're not listening to me. How I feel is not important to you.
Gaslighting.
Right? So
Ladies, do we agree with this first before I agree? Because I don't want no trouble. I got to get in my car.
So the concern I have is when it matters, because it doesn't always matter. But when it matters, it does matter to know that you having some feelings about what you think, and what you thinking is just not good information, according to the information.
Right, and sometimes you're thinking something and your feelings, like your gut is like being like, no. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I should hit this person in the mouth because they tried me. Mm-hmm. But what is that? That you can feel it that you shouldn't do that, and when you do it, you hear people say, I knew I shouldn't have did that.
Right.
So was that another thought? Was it a feeling?
See, go ahead. You want to go?
I was gonna go. Well, I mean, what you're talking about to a degree is like a loss of emotional control. In that, if somebody's got the wrong facts and they're not going to listen to that, they're off on an emotional tangent, male, female, whatever. But they're not in a mindset to listen and take in any information that can correct a situation, maybe resolve an argument, because there's a misunderstanding at the inception of it.
Their thinking is impaired.
Yeah.
Tara?
Like yours was last show I did.
What we talking about?
I'm going to actually agree with Jeremy.
Oh!
Say, hey,
What's
Ooh.
today?
come to the mic if you want.
Pull up a chair.
I've never heard her say those words.
I know that thoughts predicate emotions, but my experience is also that emotions predicate thoughts. So I am in agreement that I don't think it's always the thought, then the emotion, then the choice. I think there are certain situations where absolutely it is. Like if I feel like I'm holding the winning lottery ticket, I'm gonna feel great because I think I've won the lottery, and then I find out that, well, actually that number was from last week. Then I'm gonna feel really, really bummed out because now my thought has been adjusted to the reality, and it's not what I wanted it to be. But there are situations where you can walk into a room and instantly feel a situation. Something is disturbing your feelings, and you don't know. You have to assess why you're feeling that way. That to me is emotion, spirit coming before the thought, and then you use your cerebral cortex to figure out why you are reacting to something the way that you are. So
But
all things working together.
the science would suggest that feeling, that spiritual awareness that you're referring to is your cells. Like you experience, you can have an experience and it can change your body chemistry. You can have an experience and your genetic makeup becomes that thing. You don't have to be aware of it. So that's why I said I'm trying to figure this thing has me thinking, because maybe I'm thinking, and maybe she's right. Maybe this is the way the brain processes, but it's not the way the body processes.
And then you find out if you study, if you
Read. Go ahead.
there you go.
I got you.
That you actually have like an entire network of like neurons in your gut that speak to you and relay messages to you.
But I feel like that's not true.
Okay. I was thinking, because when you said think, you're so annoying because that was good. It threw me off. For instance, last week, I'm driving. I called my husband. I'm like, you know what? I really feel like we should homeschool D-Man. And he said, why do you think that? And I gave him my reasons why I thought so. And he immediately says, Dion, you're not that organized. It's not going to work. Immediately, I thought, okay, who do you think? No, I thought, who do you think you are? So I got defensive because I felt like he was sizing me and my ability as a mom and what I could carry. So this turned into a huge argument. I mean, hang up, didn't call that night. And then in the morning, I literally said, no, because I haven't done it in a long time. In the morning, I was like, I need to soften my heart so I could really see, like, why did I drag this so far? And so what happened was, what I thought is what I perceived. I perceived him as belittling me or thinking I couldn't do it. He wasn't saying that. He was spitting facts. I am not organized. The truth is I'm unorganized. Could I keep him home. Would it be a successful outcome? No. But when I sat down and I thought about it and I was like, Dion, you aren't organized. You're pretty late. You already got to work. When you come back, you're tired. I was like, this is what he was saying. His delivery was off, but I feel like in that case, when he was talking,
it off or was he just being honest?
No, listen. When he was talking, I thought a certain way. That's how I perceived it. And what I perceived caused a feeling where I was like, oh, we want to play? And then I made a choice to, take it too far.
Was his delivery off though? I mean, simply like the way
It sounds like you were mad because he told the truth.
No. His
Like
voice was raised, and we talked about that because he apologized for that. So it was the raised voice and that they sounded condescending, but it wasn't. Like in hindsight, he's spitting facts. That isn't it. But my point is that was, I didn't just like, oh my gosh, you hurt my feelings. I was like, I think you're being condescending. You're thinking I can't do this. Or you're thinking that I'm not able to homeschool him, teach him,
But it's not
subtraction.
an emotional reaction.
Yeah, you felt tried.
I thought, but that was my perception. He wasn't trying me.
No, I said that's why I said you felt tried.
After I thought.
Yeah,
I
you
thought,
weren't trying.
you're trying
but
me.
You felt in that moment. Your defense mechanism.
I want to go back to you said you thought it through, right?
Yeah.
So your conclusion kind of was that you felt upset because he told you something that was true.
I spoke for him. I turned his words into what I thought I was hearing. He said this, and I said, you thinking I'm
felt
not
upset by what you
based
thought
on
you were hearing.
based
So
on
did
emotion.
Did Phil proceed thought?
That's an
Or you
emotional
thought he was
We
trying
can
you so
have
that
a
you felt
conversation,
mad?
and you could take what I'm saying and turn it into something else. That doesn't mean you feel that you're right.
What
I
you
feel like
laughing about, Link?
Maybe the thoughts and the feelings are simultaneous.
I feel there's not always an order. Like, I don't know. I feel like every day you're not gonna be like thought, feeling. Are you serious? Like, I'm so jumbled up. I don't think that it can always be that way.
According to the book, it happens in milliseconds.
Yeah.
Right. It's something that the brain does.
Well, I'm not great at math, so I won't even argue.
Supposedly a thought moves at like 26 billion miles per hour or something like that.
The result is what? I'm on his like we arguing. Whichever
Literally,
came
as
first.
quick as you can do this.
Yeah. I mean, but first, let me say, Mr. Compassionate. Let's first acknowledge a healthy moment of self-awareness to think it through, and then have the conversation after you felt the way. But what you're describing sounds like you had an emotional reaction based on what you thought.
Or what I said.
Or you could be wrong, Dion. Listen.
I know I could. So, but me being wrong, that's not
What'd
nothing.
you say
I'm not scared to be
So
wrong.
what'd you say compared to what he said though? Because he
saying-
said based on your thought. You said your thought.
Say it again. That sentence.
Dion, you were ready to just call me wrong because you
No,
felt
I'm
the way,
saying I
Dion.
disagree.
And
No,
that hurt.
I
How do you think that made me feel, Dion?
We're not talking
That
about
makes me
feelings
feel
today.
terrible.
Feelings are third.
I don't have
today.
to think about that.
Yeah, he said you went with thought. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I think that was what you said.
No, I'm saying I thought he said you felt away and you thought. That's what I.
But why are you pointing at me though? You don't have to point at me. How you think that make me feel, Dion?
Where I grew up at, there are certain people that feel, choose, and think about it later. When you see them crying on that mug shot, they finally thought about it.
Yeah.
They felt away, they chose an action. And later the thoughts, it was too late.
But
They
that's
thought about it later.
an inbound. I think maybe she referring to the way it should properly work, maybe, because that's an imbalance. If you feel, react, and then think, then it normally never turns out good.
Yeah.
But I feel like as humans, every situation is not the same. We don't always feel, think, act, think, feel, act. It just depends on where you're at and how you're
Yeah, I agree. I think
Who can
situations
time it,
maybe
though? Yeah.
dictate. Like,
Where's the timer? Where's the timer to time it?
I don't think it happens in a way where
thought.
I don't think it happens in a way where we have the ability to control it.
no.
I don't think. I'm just saying, because if it happens at the speed and at the rate that the brain can operate, right? You just snapping your fingers.
There's
But you-
plenty
but-
times that I
but if
feel
you-
tried.
if you
I
put-
don't slap somebody. You can control.
Not
some
now
things,
when
but
you're older, but
I'm not. I've never slapped anybody. I'm
You've
not a
never slapped
slapper.
but can you fight?
I could. Never mind. I don't have to fight. I don't roll in the dirt.
Yeah, she has a million views where she's explaining why she doesn't roll around in dirt.
No, I don't roll in the dirt. That's
But-
crazy.
but
That's
I-
crazy. Yeah, I don't roll in. That's
But
a
I think
fact.
that's what it is. I think what you described is how to correct something that was wrong. That doesn't mean that the synopsis is wrong. It just means that you went through the process. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong because I think that it all works for the greater good, to be honest.
I agree.
Okay. All right. We ran over just a little bit with this segment of the internet sensation, Definitely Dila. And so we want to thank you for joining
Thank
us
you,
again and
guys.
helping
I
us celebrate
appreciate it.
8 years at the conversation before the conversation.
8 years.
And 8 years, we've been doing this for 8 years.
That is amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. So
I feel good about you showing up today, and I think you should show up again.
Thank you, Jason, because you doubted me.
And I
when
chose to
first
tell you.
came.
yes, you can do that.
I
Oh, yeah,
appreciate that.
I did. I thought you weren't going to show up.
But you're not going to catch me because I thought to. But I'm here. I thought that too, but I'm here.
I felt you wasn't gonna come.
You always have a feeling
Yeah,
about
yeah.
something.
Even if you text me say I'm coming, I still didn't believe it.
Openers over there. You got it? Okay. You gonna bring it to me? All right, Indio. Give it to Devin. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Dila.
Thank you.
And now at this time, we would like to welcome to the table On the Bench podcast hosts Bubba Brown and Brian Pink. We need another
We
chair
gotta
back,
put the
baby.
chair back.
Marriage advocate, Brian Pink.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Here, let me. I want to share with you, Jason.
I don't advocate foolishness.
And monogamy advocate, Bubba Brown.
Now, I don't know what she
Opposite day. Here at the conversation.
Right, Bubba?
Huh?
I said marriage advocate Brian Pink and monogamy advocate Bubba Brown.
Oh, let's leave all that.
Sounds like opposite day.
That's funny. Yeah, leave both of those alone.
Okay.
They had to break out the wine for us.
Yeah. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, here's the cord.
Okay.
You need it. I don't think you need it.
8 years.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm tripping. I didn't think. I just felt. Lean on me. I be feeling. I think later.
You drink that, you gonna feel something.
Link thinks for me a lot at times. That's why I was like, I don't know about this theory, dog.
No? How you want to do this? Oh, okay. Okay.
We need some
All right.
cups, huh?
So, some time ago, we did a show was called Aspire to Inspire, From the Locker Room to Manhood. And we had a good group of guys who, in some form or some fashion, made some kind of a life. Gentlemen, we're going to...
We men, right? We supposed to be drinking tequila or something, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to.
I drink wine too.
Yeah, I've been red wine a lot.
I'm taking this.
Bubba even had- even had
Let's
a
start with
favorite.
I got wine in the house.
You
I
go-
keep wine in the house. I got a wine bottle holder in my house.
Taylor Port. Jason be on that Taylor Port.
Taylor Port's so real.
Yeah, don't tell us what we're not talking about because we are talking about all that.
Jason the Taylor Port champion.
Moderately priced wine.
Taylor Port gotta be like grape Hennessy.
Yeah, that gotta be it.
They fooling us all.
Great Hennessy.
It gotta be, man.
Great Hennessy.
Same effect.
That pole gonna do it. Don't gonna get it. Yeah, if she on that Taylor pole, it's up there.
Yes.
You got to get her when she got like a few cups.
If she
you
pull
on
over the bottle of Taylor Port
Yeah.
in the purse,
Oh yeah.
What's up?
I take what
She
you got.
probably bought condoms. She brought bring the teleport.
she might ain't bring none of them.
Yeah.
She bring nothing. Taylor Port,
Trying to get
yeah.
this real.
Taylor Port know how you think
She wanna
irresponsible
feel
at all.
it. She'll think about it later. She
Yeah.
just wanna feel it.
Straight responsible.
Make me feel good.
Cheers, guys.
That's what Taylor Port does.
Cuts me on the inside.
Touch me.
Holly, we just wanted the damn.
Damn, Allen.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Cheers to 8 years.
Thank you guys. 8 years. 8 years.
Ocho. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, baby?
Take that shirt off. So ugly.
It's like,
Dallas getting ready to play. Don't get started.
Okay.
You sound good?
No, we good. Sounds good, right? We good, right?
Okay.
Okay.
You dropped in my headphone.
I don't think we need the headphones. That was for
We're going to be streaming with guests here.
Oh, I got you.
Okay. So, I wanted to wait till this segment to do the damn, goddamn. So, damn, goddamn. Damn. No, you cannot. Timothy Richardson. Tim Richardson is a fan. He's a friend of our show. Tim is featuring us in the documentary that he's doing. He's a filmmaker, director of photography, and he just announced that his new project, that he's going to do a new project where he's working with Tyrese. Tim went to Oak Ridge High School, for a little while, then he went to Lake Nona. I taught him when he was at Walker Middle School, so I just wanted to shout him out on the air. We're proud of you, Tim. Keep doing what you're doing.
Go watch B-Boy Blues. What's it called? B-Boy Blues?
B-Boy Blues?
Yeah.
You watched it?
Hell nah. No,
black crazy.
I don't know why he would ask me on the air, but go see B-Boy Blues.
Oh, man.
Looking
Okay.
forward to that new project.
I love
man.
Black's
He got
honesty,
something
man.
ready.
We need more people like that.
Yeah.
He's a focused brother.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim does a lot,
He's
man.
a dope guy though.
Damn. Ron DeSantis.
He could be on there every weekend.
Yeah, he can.
Every show.
He can. As a matter of fact, I was going to do him last time, but we spent so much time talking about Lizzo, we didn't get to Ron DeSantis.
Shout out to Lizzo, man.
And Jeremy, you got the shirt on again.
Team Lizzo.
And you changed since Wednesday night.
Team Lizzo.
You changed since
Now I got to question everything shirts, but I decided to wear this because in solidarity.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was trying to do something in the
No,
car.
body
and put my
positive.
shirt on today.
Okay, my
Not fat people. It's body positive.
bad.
Okay.
Body
I'm
positive.
old school.
If you,
Motherfuckers are fat and retarded.
Oh my God.
But dog stepping on all the toes.
So he don't want you to teach. If you got a party, he gonna come and take over. 'Cause he showed up when the young man got killed, and the young lady was
Oh yeah.
put together a protest, and he came and just kind of moved her out the way and took the mic.
Oh yeah, strategy.
Yeah. So and he get to, you know what? I'm gonna say this falls in the category of white male privilege. It's like Trump has that same air about himself where he can just kind of move in and, because there was all this talk about Obama when he was in office. Well, he can't do this and he can't do that because if he do this, then people are going to look at him like this and they're going to look at him like that. Trump came in like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. And he won't.
that's why I like Ron DeSantis. That's why I like Trump. Because he showed us it's all bullshit. It's all the stuff that Obama couldn't do. Trump was just signing checks and throwing tissue, just doing dope shit. I'm a vote for Ron DeSantis. I don't know if you know that. I'm voting for Ron DeSantis.
We know. We know now.
Comments, strictly Jeremy.
The views of Jeremy just like that not reflect.
Anybody else?
I like to see white people showing you that it's all bullshit. I love it. I love when Trump would say, "Hey, this whole system's flawed," and they say, "How you know?" He said, "Cause I use it." I love it. I love when you just be like, "Yo, this all bullshit," and I've been partaking in it. I want y'all to see, because everybody was pro Obama because they thought that he was getting all this pushback, when they realized that Obama was working for them people. And not the people that-
Obama was working for us. Barry was working for them people.
Is it safe to say they all work for the same company?
They all work
though?
for the same company.
Yeah, they all work together.
It's all the same game.
I think that's the illusion that they're so
It's a
divided
Right.
that they don't work together
It's
anymore.
all the same game.
All
Like
the
they work
same
together. They're
shit.
kind of pushing some of the same stuff.
It's all
with
the same
different
game.
names.
I always pay attention to the
Now,
guy,
they do have their subgroups though. They are divided as well.
but always
but
pay
they
attention to
still
the
work for
guy
the
who
same company.
that nobody wants. If
I
nobody
think the
wants
division is
Trump.
the show. I think the division is a part of the show.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's to create more of it, right? Like they want you to choose a side.
The
And
show
then,
don't work.
and then they gotta go in the
The
same
show
room and
don't
work.
work without the division.
So it's
Yeah.
like, man, they're all kind of, they got their own corruption in their own way.
But it's almost
Each one.
It's in everything we do, and we're so acclimated to it, we don't even notice it. It's like
Yeah,
the
it's
game
like
of the
we
day.
pick and choose.
It's like the game of the day. Who you with?
That's the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
man. That's why it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
It is.
It's fun to watch when you know
But I
it's a
can't say
game.
when they come with something, you can choose to either like that thing or not. But as a whole, you can't be like, I love him.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, this dude's he's human. He might got some weird stuff going on, man. When you find that out, then you like,
Yo.
wait. Like, nah, what he said, you agree with it.
Yo,
that
they-
just don't got nothing to do with the other part.
They all got weird stuff going on, man. That's
definitely.
That's the. I wrote a blog like 10 years ago, and it was basically like nobody's Republican or Democrat unless you hold office. Nobody is that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take a strong side on either side, it's because you don't get it.
right.
Like none like this shit is like
Right.
this shit is like
they don't even know you. You're
it's
not
like a
in with
rock
them.
band on tour, bro. The real party is in the lobby. That shit is nothing. It ain't. So when we be really like, oh, what did DeSantis do? It's like DeSantis just playing the game, and the fact that you guys are outraged about it means that he's really good at it. Because everybody else who playing the game, you don't remember their names. So we like, oh, look what DeSantis doing. DeSantis doing the same shit that Obama did, and everybody before him. Obama just made it look cool and said some quick little witty things. Hey Michelle, I'm coming home tonight. Of course, where's you gonna go? Like this shit is not like.
Yeah. Yeah, the proof of each one of them is in their work, though, right? It's like what they signed for who, and
Yeah.
that shows who they work for.
Yeah.
You can go to their website and see who they work for. Just look at their who gave them money and stuff.
Like Obama was
Like, who
looking
funded
out for the
this?
LBGTQ, and then we found out that he may be a part of that group.
That makes sense. Then.
So now it's like, oh, I get it. Everything
Yeah,
that's
but
if you
you
told-
don't
if you-
even have to be a part of the group to work for them. So we got to stop thinking like
that too.
Like it don't even matter if he's a part.
They
He
all-
work for them. He
they all-
definitely did their work.
Yeah, they all agents. They all
Yeah,
agents.
straight up.
And
They
that
was like, do this for us, and they did this.
that's why I
And
like.
he was like, he turned around and got to work.
That's why I like. That's why.
Nothing else matters.
That's why I like somebody like Trump who's saying, "Hey, I'm on some bullshit."
Yeah.
And
it's
guess
refreshing.
what? We all on bullshit. It's just I'm telling you about it. That's why it's fun to watch. It's fun to see DeSantis be like, "Hey, they say you did this. Yeah, I actually did do it, and this is why. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, it's refreshing, right? Oh, this one don't lie.
Damn.
That's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this one, he didn't lie just then.
Deion Sanders.
That's
one
all I
of them.
got.
Yes, he did.
Dion is no joke.
They barely won, huh?
Man, it was a
Two
great
close
game.
ones in a row, but yeah, it was a great game.
Ain't
I
no
want to
stat-
see Colorado like come out the division undefeated. I want to see them beat everybody in that division.
Next week gonna be the test.
That'd be
It's gonna
dope.
be tough. Well,
Yeah, they got Oregon and
it's
USC
two
coming
big
up.
tests.
Yeah,
Now
they got some
Oregon.
tough games,
I think
but-
Oregon is the next one coming
Yeah.
I
up.
think they got some
Oregon
tough
and
games,
USC.
but I mean,
And
you know,
USC is going to be a tall task to defeat USC in the first year, especially
Yeah.
with Colorado's defense is a weaker defense. And I believe in Caleb, that USC quarterback. I think he's the truth. I think he's the one.
Oh yeah, he that guy.
And so it's going to be a tall task for them to beat USC. But when you go in across this Colorado season, Pink and I talk about it on the show all the time, you know, so you come in, you win, one game last year, and you come into this season. What are the realistic expectations? The realistic expectations are 5 or 6 games.
It was 3 games.
Maybe beat one or two opponents that you're not supposed to beat.
Yeah,
now you off to this fast start. Now has the expectations changed? What if they lose against Oregon and USC, which are
I
two
think
superior
they've
teams?
already overstepped their expectations. So if they lose now, I don't think
Nobody cares.
We don't know.
It depends on who you
I would
lose
like to think they're not gonna change the mark for them. You know what I'm saying?
They
But
might do it.
let's be real.
to. The mark changes. I mean, but you could probably lose to Oregon and USC
And be straight.
and be straight because those teams are already in the top 10, top 15 teams. They're not bad losses. If you compete in those games and you don't get drugged by 45-10,
Yeah.
that's all sustainable in year one.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that Colorado defense is not very good.
Yeah.
And you've got that. You've got the whole idea that we're going to continue to recruit and build this.
Yeah, this is
program.
just the beginning.
Now you could be without Travis for a couple weeks, which is not going to be.
Yeah,
a good
that
thing.
sucks.
Yeah,
a
no.
nasty hit. Yeah.
And that guy should be sanctioned beyond the penalty.
Hell yeah.
That was an intense.
Yeah, that was cold.
Do you think not the coaches behind it, but
Yes, the coach.
I guarantee you.
Your team don't play that dirty for the entirety of the game if the coach is
don't
not
teach
pushing
that.
that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
this
He's
was-
pushing
this-
it.
Like after the whistle hits, these late hits, these illegal blocks that the college ain't been doing for years. So it's like you teaching that because you know you got to make the game ugly.
I don't want to say they have been doing it for years. They have, but it's just
No, I'm saying the Colorado State, this particular team.
Yeah, this particular
They went
team.
in with a mission to play the game as dirty as possible.
Yeah.
And do whatever they had to do. Mm-hmm. That was clear
Behind the
from
coach,
the early
yeah.
whistle. It was behind the coach. Coach has to own that. But that hit for certain that guy should be suspended.
yeah.
And I'm big when you do something outside the scope of the game that intentionally injures a person. I'm an advocate of suspending for the duration of the injury. And so if you take a guy out for the year,
that's dope.
then
You
you're
gotta
done
be out for the year.
If Travis is back in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever,
Then
that's
you
your
come back.
suspension.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's you're tied to what you did.
Right.
Yeah.
That's accountability.
Especially something
I
like
think
that
that's
where
dope.
it's excessive. Like you, even if you doing a late hit, even if you targeting, it's a certain framework where that's in the flow of the game. But when you do something like that where the play was over, it's already a penalty, and then you hit them.
Yeah, there are guys that get the targeting penalty every week,
Yeah.
and that sanction that the play is just bang bang.
Right,
It just
right.
happened.
Yeah.
There's no clear intent to harm anybody. That play was beyond any of that.
But here's the reality is us fans, this community, we all love Deion and want to see Deion succeed and et cetera, et cetera. But the landscape, the other coaches, these other institutions, these presidents, all of these, they can see what's about to happen. They can see what's not. Like Deion's about to get all the top recruits. Things are changing. It's not.
He had
about
The Rock out there.
Colorado
I'm about to
doesn't
go
have
play.
have the biggest back. Alabama is struggling not because of Deion. They're struggling because of this NIL. How that came in, that's not even affecting Deion. See how much that is affecting Alabama, the transfer portal, the NIL, because Alabama can pay a guy a little bit of here, a little bit of there, because under the table nobody's going to wink an eye or anything back in the day and get all the top players. Now all of these schools is giving out $1 million bags to these guys and helping them get in with corporations and other things. And that's not affected Deion, but these top powerhouses, Alabama, down the line, it was a couple other teams struggling, big teams struggling, Clemson. You know what I mean? These powerhouses.
They got a Wayne over there, bro.
You know what I mean?
Look, Wayne, bro.
Hey, but I maybe
Kid,
it's
I want to go over there.
They're gonna be envious. They are
no.
envious.
They already got all the envy for game one. Lee Corso was like verbally against this man.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
Come
crazy.
on, bro. That's kind of come
Yeah.
on, man. This might be one of the major faces of football, and he's talking against it.
He's changing
Coaches were
because of
against him, black and white.
Yeah, that's wild.
HBCUs hated this man off the way he
No,
was
that's
doing.
not a good. Don't say that. I hate that when people say that. That's not true.
Bro, that was
That's not a
very
true
true.
statement. No, it's not a true
How
statement.
was it?
It's not. A true statement.
Just go
That
back
was
and watch.
blown-
Go back and
that
watch
was
on the picture
blown-
Bubba and Pink. He let you know why.
That was blown out of proportion. HBCUs do not hate Deion. They all respect and love what he did. Even JSU, even JSU, even the black coach that he put in line to take that job. You know what I mean? That's blown out of proportion. That was all media based, man. All media based
But
from HBCU.
Yeah, because the media's cooking right now
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the way they working this whole
Yeah.
thing. It's ratings, man. It's
Yeah.
big money going on right now. With
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, but back to
the game in Colorado, it literally looked like the BET Awards.
yeah, it's sold out every time. I tried to get tickets to a game this season. They were all sold out.
out for the
A
next
home
2
game.
seasons, I
All
think.
the home games were sold out before May.
Yeah.
And the tickets don't go on sale till May.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no joke. I tried to get some tickets, man. That was terrible.
$127 on average. It was $127 on average.
Before-
Now they're $517
Yeah.
Crazy.
on average, and you can't buy them.
Yeah.
Because I tried to find it last night.
I think they sold out for the next 2 seasons. The last time I read
Yeah, all the home games are definitely sold out.
It's a wrap, bro.
Hey, but I think the big schools having problems is an example of how the system was flawed and they were taking advantage of students.
sure.
Because when the portal came in, that took away that them holding a year over the student's head.
Yeah.
So now the student has the leverage too, and then the NIL made it worse.
Made it worse,
Now
yeah.
you can't.
Made
Now
the
you
leverage
can't be a
worse.
powerhouse with this big budget alone.
Right.
Everybody can go ahead and throw some money at these
Yeah.
jits.
Yeah.
Now you got to
And
do
you not
some
just
real
doing it under the
recruiting
You gotta-
work.
and
do some
killing us.
real recruiting
And-
work.
Yeah,
not
you
just
gotta
throwing
really
money.
work.
And
You gotta be who you say you are.
Yeah. You got to prove this system.
And Dion's greatest skill is he's a great recruiter. He's a great motivator. So now that the playing field is level and you get to play for like
Anywhere.
Dion, not just a great coach or just like this flamboyant, provocative figure. He's one of the greatest football players of all time.
Yeah.
So if he comes sit in your mom's living room and eat her spaghetti and say how much he love your son coming.
Yeah, his presence is felt.
Yeah, if your son don't like him, your mom gonna say you going.
Because she.
Yeah, because
Dion ate my spaghetti.
he ate my spaghetti. Well, wait a minute.
Dion, don't eat that spaghetti.
Don't eat the spaghetti, Dion. My bad. That was bad advice.
You got to order out, bro.
Yeah.
1950s, right? Those 1940s, 1950s. Whenever they introduced black people to being able to be at these colleges. USC were the first ones to be like, okay, we're going to take black kids into our schools. And Alabama and all the SEC teams was like, we don't want these niggas on our team.
Yeah.
And they came and they played against Alabama and blew Bear Bryant them ass out the water, and they were like, shit, we better start getting some of these niggas.
Yeah, change gonna come.
Because this is where now we're at a pinnacle in life where things are swerving, and then now we're making decisions for ourselves more so than saying, okay, well, Bobby Brown come sit on the couch. I remember when Bobby Brown came to Winterport to come get Terrence. Bobby Brown, we come right now. Pull up with a limo, all that stuff. That stuff don't even matter no more.
Spurrier came right down on Simon Avenue.
Yeah, came right there to Winterport. Trying to get him.
That's one of the fascinating things. I'm not sure exactly how Dion's doing his recruiting, and I'm curious about it. But he's literally got this thing where it's like, I'm here. If you want to come, show me you're interested. I don't think he's got to spend a lot of couch time eating bad spaghetti. Right. To be honest with you, I think he's built this and changed the dynamic for recruiting.
Yeah.
In a way that's not about sitting on somebody's couch eating mom's shitty food.
Yeah, I don't know what he does, but I know that he always.
How you know the food's shitty?
I mean,
I'm a picky eater, man. If it ain't McDonald's, I'm not having it.
Oh, you're not a picky eater,
yeah.
He got the money flowing through the school. He got the prestige coming to the school. You're young. He's got Yella Beezy in the locker room.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne,
Yeah, last year was Yella Beezy.
Cameron is there.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Shannon Sharp.
The
Irvin
Rock.
Irvin,
He had The Rock, Jason.
The Rock. Everybody's there, bro. It's like
I'm
right
checking
now,
on my
if I'm a
eligibility
coach
right
on
now.
another team, you see what's going on. Like this man got these kids feeling like rock stars right now, bro. So like, a kid is gonna want to go there, bro.
He can't get them all.
No, but
Of course not, but he gonna get some that they would never.
But
have
he gonna
gotten.
get more than what he need.
Who was talking about Colorado? Who was talking about the University of Colorado?
He's getting 4
Nobody.
5 stars looking like, okay, Alabama ain't even on my list no more.
Hey, but he's also.
You gonna look at like the rival or like the recruiting. Like you gonna look at these kids and Colorado's up there. It used to be like Florida,
Yeah.
Clemson, you know what I'm saying? Georgia, you got all these schools.
But
now you got Colorado.
He talking their language too. Like he said, hey, your mama worked 3 jobs.
Hey,
That's gonna make you want to knock a motherfucking head off.
Yeah.
My mom do work 3 jobs.
You link showed me see Florida Atlantic got Kodak. So,
Yeah.
bro, it's like it's
It's trending.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But he's changing the culture. So
Isn't that Lane
everything
at
that they
FAU?
said he can't do, every level they said he can't play on, he's proven that this system works anywhere.
Kodak Black was at FAU last game.
No,
He
no,
ran
yeah,
out,
I'm
he
talking
ran
about
on
the
field.
coach, which coach bought him in. That's why I was asking Pete.
Oh, okay.
No, Ole Miss. He went to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Willie Taggart went to FAU. He failed there, and they got a new guy.
They got a new guy. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
Will
okay.
Taggart gonna hang it
Well,
up, man.
and another interesting thing about Dion too is
Not even a coordinator.
so one of the
Just
biggest
go there now.
college football analysts is saying after this season that these bigger schools are going to throw like an outrageous bag at him to make him the highest paid coach in the history. So I want to see if Dion would take that bag or sit at Colorado and build it up, because a lot of people, to your HBCU point, the only thing is a lot of people in the HBCU community thought, okay, if he stays here, he can build this up and bring us back to prominence, right? Now you get to Colorado, does he leave Colorado for the big bag, or does he build them into a stability of prominence?
I think he leaves Colorado for the NFL.
Yeah. Well, he stated that he wasn't going to leave Colorado for the next 2 years. So that's something that he stated.
He's
staying.
He's staying for Shedeur and Travis, and
Yeah.
he's going in the NFL with
He's
them.
making sure that they're straight. So
That's
his,
it.
his starting like offense wide receivers. He's making sure that they get to the league.
I-
When they get to the league, what he's doing, he's probably going to go to the league. But at the same time, he might sit back and be like, you know what?
Broadcasting.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not
Because
You think he'll lead coaching altogether?
Sitting at a desk.
You got to think about the bag that Tom Brady just got. He ain't even went on Fox yet, and it's just sitting there waiting for him.
Yeah, but I think Colorado.
He ain't gonna be a Tom Brady.
I think Colorado will find a way to have him some kind of equity, because not only what he does for the economy there, they say like 18 million last weekend, and then plus he sold like a 1.2 million dollars in shades in 2 days.
Yeah.
Not even. It was 24 hours.
Well, I don't know. I ain't
don't-
getting paid for it, but I know that he's gonna have some kind of
for
equity.
a bag though. You know what I'm saying? I think Prime is so straight. Like he sees like the future in this. So like him setting these kids up, these are like his children, and like the rest of the boys are like they're kind of his too. They're going to show love back to him. So he's good if he gets them straight. Long term, this is better than just getting a temporary bag for now. That man got a bag.
Yeah, but there is an FTK number that he will take. There's an FTK.
I agree with that, but this college thing, it's not about the bag. It doesn't even look like it's about the bag to me.
Colorado owed him $29.5 million, right? That's what his contract.
Yeah.
$29.5
That they didn't even have when they gave it to him. They didn't have it.
He still went. So we can't say it's about the bag.
He know the money was gonna come. Now that's a
But
that's a moot point. Yeah, the money was gonna be there, man.
Man, he's setting his kids up, man. He's walking them all the way to the door.
Colorado got a lot of money and endowments and boosters. He was gonna get paid.
He had 4 offers. Colorado down there doubled every other like offer that there was on the table that he had. Like, so you can't say he's not there for the bag. Like he had the other
Money came when he got there.
The money matters. Like I'm not gonna. We're not gonna act like the money don't matter.
The man got a song called "Must Be the Money,"
And it's a great song.
Here's what you got.
And don't forget, he was the first one with pretty much an NIL deal because he was playing for the Yankees when he was in college still at
marketing.
Florida State.
He looking like a genius right now.
Nah, he
You know what?
he just had the baseball money. It's fair. It's
What
legal.
you got? What you have to realize though is what's happening at Colorado is a validation that he is the brand. And it doesn't matter where the hell he is.
Right.
He's the brand. He made it happen at Jackson State. He made it happen at Colorado. If he chooses to go to any other Division I program, he's going to make it happen there. If he chooses to go to the league, that is a step, but he has no reason to believe he can't make it happen there.
That's true.
And that's just the fact. So he knows he's the brand.
It's grown men over there.
And
though.
that's
that
why
doesn't work in the NFL.
It's grown men.
there is.
Yeah.
But
brand doesn't work.
he, he is coaching his kids.
Yeah.
And right now, the track that Shadur's on is first round.
First round.
Maybe top 10. That's leverage to go
Yeah.
to the
First
league.
day.
And,
Definitely.
because by the time the guys, the young people that he's affecting now, in 3 or 4 years he goes to the NFL. Those guys in 3 or 4 years are ready for the
But
NFL.
don't overstate this affecting young people thing. He's coaching his son and he's coaching Travis and
True.
everybody else.
Right.
is along for the
Right.
Shiloh,
Shiloh.
Yeah. He'll be managing the family Instagram account next year.
That's a good point.
He went to Colorado. They was like, so what about Shiloh? He was like, yeah, he'll be coming too eventually.
Now Shiloh up in the kid rankings, man. Shout out to Shiloh. Don't do Shiloh like
No,
that.
he is, but Dion wasn't necessarily worried about him leaving Jackson State.
Because he know he was coming though.
But Shadir and Travis, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but you got to realize, like, he went into the college game with Shador.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't go with
Yeah.
Shiloh.
He went into
Shiloh went
football
to
with
South
Shador,
Carolina.
like coaching kids.
100%.
Yeah.
He's coached him his entire life.
Oh, okay.
He ain't giving that gig up.
But I agree with Pink. I agree with Pink. I believe he's gonna stay for Shiloh too and Travis because they got to play again another year at least.
That's 2 years.
And then he gonna walk away unless Colorado offer him some kind of equity where he can eat off of all the money that's coming in. Other than that, he lost 2 toes, man. Y'all know he lost 2 toes.
What does that have to do with it?
I don't know. I just like saying that. He lost 2 toes. He lost 2 toes, Devin.
That's real.
Where's the humanity? Mr. Compassion.
His transitions are amazing.
NCAA is loving it, bro. It's money raining from the sky.
Yeah, bro.
It is.
Last night they didn't have any showing like that ever, other than New Year's when Buddy missed a field goal at the drop of the ball.
Yeah.
Bro, there's been no other showing like last night, bro.
I rather they have white commentators though. Those black commentators being all corny. Oh, 21, will you do something for me? Bro, let's just stop, Byron.
Hey, everybody wanna be Stuart Scott.
Let's just stop, Byron. Just call the game. Just call the game.
Mark Jones was on that pot.
Long live Stuart Scott, man.
Yeah, for real.
21.
Look at Key Glock. Oh, man, call the game, man. Who caught the ball?
He was offset, and then you look at the play, it was offset. I was like,
Yeah. Tavarius Jenkins getting his swag on. Man, come on, Byron. Get out of here. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, bro.
It's only according to us because we from the street.
That's not how we talk, bro. Why are you doing this?
It's good for TV, man. It's good for
Script,
TV.
man. That's the script,
Only
man.
people from the hood is like, this is corny, bro. It's good
Somebody
for
got to
TV.
be in there like, why are you doing this? Just call it a game.
Okay, so now this question.
It's the culture, man.
This question was for two people at the table. This is for Jeremy and Bubba.
Man, I ain't answering no question. This sounds like a setup.
This is for Jeremy and Bubba.
Mr.
You have
Compassion.
answered. The question is, there's a difference between the song. There's a difference between the song and there's a difference between being the song or the subject that the song is written about. Which one are you? Are you the song, or are you the one that the song is written about?
Who question that is?
St. Edwards, South Carolina.
St. Edwards.
St. Edwards.
What was you got something?
He needs something to work with.
I'm trying to bounce off
Yeah.
him. Are you the song or are you the song that's
Listen, St. Edwards, I don't know if you think I'm not that deep. I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, because the song is written about you, then you are the song.
Yeah, so it's literally the same thing, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I write songs.
Yeah.
If I write a song about a girl, then the girl is the song. She's literally the inspiration for the song. Like the song don't
So being the inspiration makes you the thing?
the song doesn't get written without her. So how is she
Like Black
separate
say, it's a
from it?
setup.
Yes.
It's like oh look,
Thinking
it's
on
like
this
put
song.
the-
Yeah,
What you're saying though, you're saying you're writing as the songwriter, you're writing about the girl.
Yeah.
He's asking this question to these two guys. Like essentially, the question is somebody writing a song about you, or are you the song itself?
How you see yourself in the world?
But I think they have to conclude that they're the song, unless there's some homoerotic energy going on that I don't know about.
I think you.
That's like third person if like the song.
I think you smarter than this question.
You know Adele, you know about Adele's ex-husband, boyfriend, or whatever. He sued her because she wrote like this beautiful, heartbroken album.
Yeah.
And that was after they split up. And he sued her because he said, I'm the muse to that album.
Yeah.
And he won money.
Did he?
Yeah.
So he was the song.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the song. Or was he the subject? Of the
I
song?
better
He
find
was-
out
he
some
was-
make
he
chicks be
was-
singing.
Hey, here's the lesson from that. Find a musical person and break their heart. We all cash in later.
When they said on 5 Heartbeats, they said,
We're gonna need representation, bro.
We have precedent.
We gotta make this work.
even as an artist though, I noticed from where I write something that's about, y'all cooking. Even as an artist, where I write something and I notice like the feedback. If I write something that's more got to do with the pain of my life, it get a little bit more feedback than something that's just kind of like positive and I'm speaking into this forward into existence and from my healing space and this and that. But if I'm like the one I made about growing up without my mom and dad and coming up rough and poor and man, the views were going crazy off that. And people were like, yeah, bro, that's what, talk that. You know what I'm saying?
feed
And
off
it's
the
like,
feed off pain.
but I made the one about love and light and my consciousness and I've been,
Turn that off.
and I still get views, I still get love for that, but
Not as much.
Yeah. When you go to talking about, I mean, look at Rod Wave going crazy.
Yeah, it's
This
marketing.
man is rich and he still his label like you gonna keep writing about this pain.
J. Blige too.
Figure out a way to write a painful song, bro. This is your persona that we signed you as.
So, but again, the mirror never lies, and the mirror is always in place. So it's simply a reflection. My guess is a reflection of their lives. People are in pain, so they resonate with you on that level because of the pain.
That's bars.
People don't have the type of love that's you write about, that you put into the universe. People are not aware that that's a thing that's even achievable.
Or care to achieve.
Right. Yeah. So when we've had
that's
the unconditional love conversation at this table a lot.
Yeah.
And people still want to say that you can't have it.
Yeah.
They still want to say that you can't have unconditional love. So then that means that everything's a negotiation after that. If you can't love someone unconditionally, and I think you can't love someone unconditionally until you learn to love yourself unconditionally, right? Because it's just a thing. When you have it for what you have for yourself, you have for someone.
But when you're pure and when you're innocent, you do what I think about.
Unconditional is a wild.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You do it without thinking about it until you learn not to.
That's a wild thing. Unconditionally. That's wild.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way. If a woman loves you unconditionally, she has no conditions on you.
Right.
So you can just move.
That's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Move the way you.
I don't. And the
not
people who have sat here and told you, I don't
Yeah.
think that's a thing.
Unconditional love doesn't equate to
I don't think that's a
unconditional
thing.
tolerance. I've been making this argument every time we have this conversation.
But how
I can love you no matter what you got going on, but that doesn't mean I'm going to tolerate certain things that you do in regards to me. I can still love you. I can still bring you food. You just can't live with me no more. But I'm going to still bring you a plate. We're at the halfway house or wherever you at. I'm going to still make sure you got clothes and
Those are conditions,
this and
though.
that.
Right.
No, it's me. It's real. It's realistic. So
But it
that
is.
you just beat on
It
me.
is.
But that's what
It's
it's saying.
unconditional,
Unconditional love does not exist.
not a
to me,
thing.
I don't love you for who you are. It just means that I gotta protect myself.
Love is a weird ass word.
Okay.
We don't know what it is.
It's not quantifiable, but in the context that we're using it in.
Oh.
In the context that we're using it in, because I never stop saying in my life I've had people in my life that was abusive, like really important people to me, like my dad at one point, you know. But I never stopped loving him. I just learned to not tolerate to allow him to do certain things to me. But I never stopped loving him. Never.
Okay, right. So what I'm hearing, one of the things I'm hearing you say when you say that is the way you protected yourself from that was the love you have for yourself.
Right.
So when I make the argument that the way to have unconditional love for, in your case, your father, is you have that level of love for yourself.
Right.
So you don't even have to have that battle because you are, not that the love is in you, you are the love.
The love is in him.
That's the love. You are the love. That's the protection. That's the thing that keeps you safe from.
Yeah. You love yourself
from
enough
from
not to
from
let him
from
do
those
you
other
like
things.
that.
So
Right.
when I say having unconditional love for yourself, regardless of what somebody else is doing, you having unconditional love for yourself stops them from being able to bring you pain.
I don't know if it stops it, but
It could be a buffer.
right. But it can, yeah, like you said.
Right.
So you kind of gotta add yourself though. Like if you say unconditional love, then that can mean a myriad of different things. If you say unconditional love for yourself, then that's different.
But I think it almost like the opposite. Like you could have unconditional love for yourself, but that almost imposes that you put conditions on others because you have to protect yourself first.
I get that, but I think it's also possible to not even think about it. Because
I'm trying to figure out if we ever even seen this.
I don't think we.
I don't know a person who has seen
I don't think we
this.
have. I think we.
It's like something people want. It's like a mythical creature.
You have it with your kids.
Unicorn.
You mean we talking about romantically?
We talk about it. We use words
Romantically,
like Buddha,
it doesn't
Jesus,
exist.
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Because I definitely seen it.
With
My
children,
grandma,
it's close.
My kids, my grandma.
Nah, man.
I never did nothing. I could never do nothing for my grandma to ever turn her back on me.
That's not. Come on, man. First of all, our constitution of what the word love means is it varies from person to person because it ain't a quantifiable thing. So to say that there's unconditional love, then it's definitely not quantifiable.
Jason might be on something. What was that movie that was big on Netflix? The Jeffrey Dahmer.
Are you making a rap song or we making a point?
Killing people back in the day. And remember when Dahmer Pops found out? Dahmer Pops found out he was a serial killer.
Let somebody sell dope out the house.
He still loving it. He didn't want to believe it at first. After the tangible evidence, like he still was loving his son. Like
there are people that
he
go
was there
and
every
visit
day.
their child's murderer.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's stupid. That's not love. That's stupid.
You can't say that. You can't say
I can.
that because there's something that goes beyond what you considering love to be.
All right, Mr. Compassionate. That's stupid. Like I that's not like that. That's like you trying to make a compassionate plea to like do humane things, but that don't mean that it's real.
I'm not saying I would do that, but there are people that do that.
But that doesn't mean that it's right.
Yeah, that's their own sickness.
That doesn't mean that it's wrong.
If you feel like you have to forgive everybody for peace, then you sick.
I think that's a weird religious-driven nonsense.
Yeah, man. If you kill my son, it's fuck you forever. Yeah. I think that was Cardi B or Martin Luther King, but one of them.
I'll kill you.
Cardi B or Martin.
That's bars, bro.
Go ahead, Tara.
Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for yourself.
I hear all that and it sounds remarkable. It sounds great.
You can't heal and move on.
It's true though.
I can heal and not give a fuck about you. That's false if you think that. If you think that I can just be.
She's saying it's not about the person. That's you saying what she's saying.
Yeah, so I don't need to forgive you. I don't need to go see you in prison and say, hey man, you had a rough life. Fuck your life. I don't need any of those things. And
you don't. But for a person that can access that part of themselves, you can't just say that they're stupid and that they're programmed.
I can though. That's what you're missing. I can say that.
You're right. Okay, you can say that from your perception, but that doesn't make it true.
But
you're not inside their psyche. You're not inside their heart. You're not inside their spirit. You're not inside their mind.
But I can say that that's stupid, and you gonna love me unconditionally. So let it go.
You my brother. I love you always. We know that. I know that. You know that. That's unconditional.
He cooking right
That's
now.
unconditional. We are like the opposite of each other, and we have a great dynamic because we literally are the opposite, bro. You feel me? Like, but there's people that can't stand people that's the opposite of them.
But
if I see it one way, you usually see it the other way.
Generally, what you don't like about other people is what you don't like about yourself.
Now, sometimes you and the person y'all just opposing.
No, that's not
y'all
always
just
true.
opposing. Like, we ain't gonna go. Okay, Zodiac, whoever's into it. Aquarius and Leo is opposing signs. You know what I'm saying?
Because Leos are normally right and Aquariuses are normally wrong.
It's fire and air, which creates wildfires. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, me and my grandma was Aquarius, my little sister and my little brother, they were Leos. We grew up in the same house. And it was obvious that my little sister and my little brother were closer to each other, and me and my grandma was closer to each other. It was like we just think the same. Like me and my grandma, we think the same, we feel the same. And my little brother, my sister, just like him. Fuck you forever. I'm gonna hold this grudge forever. When I see you, I'm gonna look at you.
Hey! I'm Mr. Compassionate. That's not me.
Me, I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to let that sit on my heart. I got better things to do. You don't have no space, no property in my heart. You're good. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. But I don't think everybody should think like that. That's just how I am. I didn't have to learn unconditional love. I always was that. My life configured me to be that. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just what it is. I never had to go and look for it and become it and have it for myself to have it for others. It was just I had no choice.
Hey, say that again so I can write that down. Hold on, that was dope. That's how you be getting them women. Hey, it's in me. My love is.
It's the truth. I rap raps about love, bro. I write raps about love.
That's why women be blocking you, because you be giving them this shit and you be like, hey, I'm through with you now. But I still love you.
It's true.
I just think I like the idea of us being able to have more conversations about wanting to be someone who is working towards unconditional love. I think it's the way to go in terms of how we can actually learn to have grace, or be better at having grace when it comes to something. Because like you're generally speaking, when your child do something, especially when they're young, when a child do something, it's an automatic grace, right? And then the older they get, the more expectations you put on them, and then the more they don't live up to your expectations, then now you begin to have resentment, and just live up, get out my house, right? We lose that thing of being able to continue to have that grace, and society says it's not only okay, but it's encouraged. And I think that we can encourage unconditional love, and it's just where I am with it. I guess
Yeah, you and Jason on your own.
Hey, that's fair. Everybody,
Indio, mama.
we need contrast. We need contrast in the world.
Keisha Morgan.
Oh, she.
Y'all a shout out. She's
Okay.
agreeing with Jason as well.
Of course she is. Because even though you ain't shit, don't mean I can't love you through the shit that you've been through. Unconditionally.
What about if you got a child, right?
Yes. I got 2 children.
You 2 children. They murdered somebody.
Together.
Right? They go to jail. You still love them.
They didn't kill me.
What if they kill their mama?
Hey.
You love them still. They're in prison the rest of their life. Do you still love
But they
them?
didn't kill me.
All right, exactly. Answer that.
Yeah, so listen. If my 2 kids kill somebody and they kill somebody together, then we on the run, G.
I think it's safe to say we're all striving for the same thing here.
Hello.
We're striving for unconditional love.
Okay, so he just proved his theory. Yes, ma'am.
Because he ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Tanisha, Eddie, and Katrina Jackson, they were also watching.
Good deal.
Oh, okay, good. Appreciate y'all. And we're sorry about that, guys. We had some technical difficulties when we were getting started. The internet shut us down, so we were not able to get everybody that we had hoped to get on today. Again, we've been doing these conversations for 8 years. We started out in those small rooms, just people talking to each other, trying to create a dialogue. I'm sorry, let me stop saying this. We have, I think it's good to say that, we have established a way of having dialogue where we get to talk about some real things in a lighthearted way, in a caring way, holding ourselves, and when we're at this table, everybody that joins us, to a level of accountability that can be uncomfortable, but we do it in a loving way. Now, we do have some people out there who like to say that we don't like women. It's just a thing. Somebody somewhere said that, and
We get that sometimes.
Yeah, right. So, and I want to be clear.
Can't fathom why.
I apologize. Let me say this better.
Well, you ask somebody to be accountable, boy, you hate them. Anyway.
I'm going to try to be clear.
When a man is honest with a woman, it's going to be resistant.
Oh, y'all agree with that now? Listen, y'all agree with him still?
Still on the Jason train.
Yeah, it's still going to call. So, because he's just gonna have to explain that little part.
I'm gonna be honest too.
We have some concepts and some perspectives that we frame, and I think it gets missed. So when we say, and we wear these shirts, it say you get who you are at the moment you are that thing. When we say that to someone, they're thinking about themselves, but they're not hearing that the phrase is speaking about two people. Mm-hmm. When we say the journey is always inward, we're talking about ourselves, right? So we say the mirror never lies. We're talking about reflection, our reflection. We have these concepts because these concepts. So I think for whatever reason, people live their lives. I don't know their lives. They do what they do. but I do understand how people can get triggered. But because you got triggered because of something I said, don't mean I said something to trigger you.
Right.
Right?
I just said
I'm
what
not.
I said.
We don't attack anybody. Generally speaking, we don't attack anybody. Sometimes when we get up here, we can get a little wild. But as Willie D say, if you talk for a living, you bound to say something fucked up. Right? So, and we are human, and we generally try to apologize. And if we don't even apologize on the air, we, among ourselves, we like, yeah, we might have went a little bit too much like that. So
I've never said such a thing. Okay.
So, with that being said, I want to thank Bubba and Pink again because we've had them both on the show, but it was the first time we had them here together. It was great. I love the way Jeremy stepped in for you the other night. I looked up and I started to say, "Damn, Bubba, you strong."
Okay, not too much now. Not too much.
In what respect?
They giving you what you gave them back.
That was great.
But again, the Brotherhood. He made a phone call at the last minute. Jeremy came in and sat down and ran the show. And it was a fantastic show. So, and then there's something that happened on the show that I'm gonna talk to y'all about afterwards. But we get off the air because I don't want to say it hurt somebody's feelings. But that being said, I am Coach Rudy. We are the men of the Brotherhood, Manhood, Fatherhood Conversation Series. For those of you who've been with us over the past 8 years in one form or another, even if you hating on us. We appreciate you. All right.
Shout out to the podcast doctor too. If you got a podcast, he can help you. It's gonna cost you though.
Yes, it is. You don't work for free.
That's gonna cost.
Yeah.
The camera, baby.
Look at that. Look at that. That's what we be talking about on the show. That's exactly what we be talking about on the show. The narcissistic woman of today's era.
You want to do it? You do it?
And
Okay.
there's some
Go ahead, bro.
somebody that usually come in here. They sat down, they talk from time to time, and they won't respond to my DMs. You know what I'm saying? So, I thought I was gonna see this person today. They wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are because she said you was watching and had a comment. So you know what I'm saying?
This guy's crazy.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a bad guy.
This guy's crazy.
I don't care what Jeremy says about me.
Don't wait Bubba on red.
Hey,
I'm
listen.
safe, okay?
Bubba's DM.
Hey, listen. Before we go, young lady,
Are you blocked?
disregard this.
He's an educated man with no kids. He's ambitious.
That's real.
I appreciate that.
Hey, and he's also here for.
Fun time, not a long.
There you go. There you go.
Strike that from the record. Strike that from the
Darts
record.
and arrows.
Well, I will say this. Since Bubba has been coming on and interacting with us, he does ask a lot of questions where he's like seriously considering a long-term relationship. He has been for quite some time.
There you go.
So is Future, but it don't. Yes.
He never does it though.
I tried. All right. Once again, we want to thank you all for joining us. Please stick around. We're going to be back in 2.2. We just make an adjustment so that we can have our performance from the Woodwall show. Thank you and good night.
All right. Monogamy is a trick of the United States.
Using my soul as a weapon, I'm in your head with my presence. I might just finish your sentence. This feeling fresh out the faucet. I keep the love in a locket. When I feel down, I just break it open, drink it in, and now we get it poppin'. You cannot settle me, nigga. If I blew it all, she'd have had a wedding ring, nigga. I ain't talking failures, this is everything, nigga. So I gave my everything, nigga. I'm from Fedway, we